Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Mental Wellbeing. I am the Lady May, a behavioral therapist and a counselor. I take key interest in psycho empowerment and emotional mastery. On today's edition, I'll be dealing with relationships and our mental well-being, how relationships affect our mental well-being. If this is your first time, our previous episode was on mental well-being, what mental well-being was all about, and why it was necessary for us to pay attention to it, because physically, when you're not well, you pay attention to your body. Psychologically, mentally, when you're not well, you also have to pay attention to your body. And so the first episode I spoke more on what's mental well-being, and then I said mental well-being or mental health is how you behave, how your way of life, which makes society perceive you to be normal or abnormal. Your well-being involves how you think, what you feel, how you deal with the challenges of life, how you navigate through life, through the ups and downs that life throws at you, and how you come out stronger. That's all well-being is about. And so today we're looking at relationships and our well-being. How does relationships, specifically poor relationships, impact on our well-being? And relationships, as we all know, is a crucial aspect of our lives. It is the connections, I would say, that we have with other people. The quality of these relationships is what affects our mental well-being. And so if you have a good relationship, or if you have, so to say, good relationships, then your mental well-being will be impacted positively. On the other hand, if your relationships are poor, then it will have an adverse impact on your mental well-being, especially when you're experiencing poor relationships, when you're having difficulty with a partner, a colleague, or a friend, a family member. It's likely your mental health will be affected in many ways, because a poor relationship is relative to individuals. What may be poor for me may not necessarily be poor for you. And so it is important that if you're watching me right now, if you're listening to me, it's important that you define what a poor, or what your relationship is, whether it's good or whether it's poor. And if it's poor, what makes it poor for you? It is important to determine what makes you think or believe that your relationship is in a poor state. What exactly is not working in that relationship? And why is it not working? For example, disagreements are a normal part of every relationship. So if it's just disagreement, then that is not enough to say it's a poor relationship. For me, if a relationship is poor, I will define a relationship as poor when things are not working out, when you are struggling in the relationship, when your needs are not being met, when you are dissatisfied with the other person. And in this case, relationships, as I said earlier, could be friends, it could be family members, it could be your partner, your colleague. But for the purpose of this video, I will concentrate on a partner or a husband or a wife. And if you find, if you have disagreement, doesn't mean a relationship is not normal. It's part of relationship to have disagreement. But if it consists, if you find out that between yourself or between the two of you that you are constantly snapping at each other. You easily get irritated. You're giving each other cold shoulders, and you're finding it difficult to resolve arguments, and there's no harmony. For me, I will define that as a poor, or a relationship in a poor state, one that has to be looked at. And so I ask you, how would you define a poor relationship for you? Are you easily irritated by the other person? Do you feel like you are marginalized? You're not being heard. Your concerns, your opinions are not being heard. You irritate the other person, or the other person you are easily irritated by the other person. Whatever it is, you define what the poor relationship is. And then once you have determined what makes it poor, your next step is to fix it. If as a result of all these things, you realize that you're struggling with the relationship, you're constantly heightened, you're angry, you're worried, always crying, you've gotten to the point where you're even doubting yourself and your abilities, like you're not good enough for anybody, then you know that your well-being is being affected by the poor relationship. When you start feeling that way about yourself, when you start second guessing, when you start asking yourself questions, why me? Why doesn't anybody want me? Why are things never working out for me? Then you know that you're experiencing a low mental well-being, and that you're beginning to have mental health issues. When you lose interest in the activities that you would ordinarily do, and you love doing them, like meeting friends, cooking, going out, taking care of yourself, then you should know that we are beginning to have issues with our mental health. And that is a place I don't wish anybody gets to, because it's a difficult place to be. When your perceptions about certain issues change, when you begin to see yourself differently, when your outlook on changes, when you see friends, people around you differently, when you see changes in the way you do things, when your performance at work, when it starts taking the downturn, then you know that your well-being is being affected by this poor relationship. When you start extending your frustrations and your anger onto others, the people around you, even babies and your young children, gets affected somehow by your poor relationships. When you feel like you're stuck in a state of confusion and you're not sure what to do, when you're not making progress in life again, then you should start looking at your well-being in totality. These things brings clarity to the fact that there is something wrong. I am not happy with this relationship, and it's affecting me as a person. It's affecting me. It's affecting my perception. It's affecting my progress. It's affecting my performance, my relationships around me. Then it's time to look around. And if you are in a relationship you believe is poor, or if you're struggling with it, then maybe you should determine what is poor. As I said earlier, poor is relative. What is poor for you? Why is it not working? What exactly is not working? What is your contribution to it? Because remember, in every relationship there are two people, so definitely there will be a contribution. Even if the person is aggressive, how do you respond to it to make it worse? What is your contribution? Be honest to yourself. How is that affecting you? you should be able to identify exactly how it's affecting you. Maybe it's affecting your perception, how you look at things. Maybe it's affecting you, how you relate to other people, your well-being, your health, your relationships, your business, your career. How is your poor, how is a relationship affecting you? Once you can identify that, you have to find ways to change things around. I always say that it takes one person to effect change, and so be ready to be the change agent in that relationship. Find ways of changing things to make it better, to make it a healthier, a stronger, a more enjoyable relationship. And if you're still struggling at that point, then get help. If you're worried about your relationship and how it's making you feel, then it's worth talking about it over with a friend you trust, a counselor, or if you may prefer to contact us at Emerge New Woman. Our counselors are always on standby to listen to you, to listen to your concerns, your fears, your worries, and to explore your emotions with you in a safe place, a non-judgmental place where you get to express yourself openly and find clarity in everything. And so thank you so much. I hope this episode has also been an enjoyable one, knowing that your relationships does have impact on your well-being, and how you can identify when a relationship is actually having an impact, a negative impact on your life. We can't bring it to light enough how important it is to safeguard and secure your mental well-being. Thank you so much for watching us once again. For more on mental well-being, emotional mastery, and stress release, mind management, follow us on any of our social media handle. And this is The Lady May. Thank you.